So now that we've done the lab, we need to look at how our predictions stack up with what actually happened. Okay? So last week, we predicted that reaction number 1 was a double replacement reaction. And we're right. It is a double replacement reaction. Okay? But we predicted that the products would be that sodium would end up with chlorine and that ammonium would end up with hydroxide. Okay? According to what we know happens in a double replacement reaction, that's a reasonable prediction. The two metals should switch places. What happened in that reaction, though? What were your observations for reaction number 1? Oh, nobody noticed it? Nobody noticed the smell? Okay, there should have been a really strong smell of like Windex. Yeah, okay. If you didn't notice that, you can put it in your observations that there was a really strong smell of Windex because that's what was supposed to happen. That's why I was telling you, be mindful on reaction 1 because with your mask on, you might not detect this smell. Okay, you kind of need to be ready for it. Okay, so if I detect a change in odor, what does that mean has been produced in that reaction? A gas. Are either of these two things a gas? They are not. Ionic compounds are either in solution at room temperature or they are crystalline solids at room temperature. And we got a gas. So we got something that is not an ionic compound produced in this reaction. So here's what we have to do. Okay? I'm going to tell you what gas was produced. Okay? The gas that was produced is ammonia or nitrogen trihydride. You definitely want to make some notes here because this is question number 1 in your analysis, right? Where you have to write out the reactions in both formula and word form. Okay? So that's the gas that was produced. So what we have to figure out is where did this stuff come from? Okay? Where's the most logical place for a nitrogen and 3 hydrogens to have come from in this reaction? Right, from ammonium chloride, from right here. Okay? So if I just say, all right, fine, I'm going to write this thing out now, but without 1 nitrogen and 3 hydrogens, basically all I'm left with is this. Right? I had NH4Cl. Well, I've taken N and 3 of the H's. So what I'm left with is HCl. Everyone okay with that? All right, so here's how you predict the rest of this reaction. This is now a double replacement reaction between these two compounds. You have 2 more products in this reaction. Okay? They are the products of the double replacement reaction between these 2 compounds. Okay? Remember, you're writing it out in formula form and in word form, and you're balancing the reaction. Okay? All 3 of those things have to be done for question number 1. For each reaction, except 4 and 5. Okay, we got to do the same thing with reaction number 2. Okay, pair number 2 was essentially vinegar and baking soda reacting. Okay, we predicted that this was a double replacement reaction. Okay, and our products were going to be NaCH3COO and hydrogen carbonate. Except what happened when we mixed these 2 things? What were your observations for when you mixed vinegar and baking soda? Yeah, it bubbles and fizzes. I mean, we know that, right? Like, that's when you mix vinegar and baking soda, a gas is produced. Neither one of those 2 things is a gas. What gas gets produced when you mix vinegar and baking soda? You guys don't remember this from grade 5? I know it was a long time ago for you. Okay. In grade 5, you probably did this experiment. You had a candle, and you had vinegar and baking soda. Okay? You mix the vinegar and baking soda in a glass or in a beaker, and then you do this, and you can actually pour the gas out onto the candle. What does it do to the candle? Puts it out. You guys can do that? Oh, we may have to do that here then. Okay, maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Okay, anyway, the gas that is produced is carbon dioxide. Okay? So, similar to pair number 1, I'm going to give you the gas that was produced, and then we're going to figure out where it came from, and then you guys can do the rest of the reaction. Okay, so I got a carbon and 2 oxygens. Where's the most likely place for that to have come from? Right here, because I got CO3, right? So if I take the C and 2 oxygens, what I'm left with is this. And it's reacting with this, which we said is an acid. So it really should be written like that, where hydrogen is the positive, okay, and CH3COO is the negative. So here's your ionic compound, hydrogen acting as the metal. Here's your other ionic compound. You got 2 other products. They are the product of a double replacement reaction between these 2 things. Okay. So those 2 don't go the way we would have predicted. The others do. Okay? You don't have to do pair 3, you don't have to do pair 4, so you're not writing a reaction for either one of those. Okay? But you should have, okay, a prediction for, sorry, not for pair, you can do pair 3, sorry, pair 4 and pair 5 are the ones you do. Okay, so you should be able to do this one. It goes exactly as it would be predicted. Okay, same with pair 6 and pair 7. And the reason I showed you pair 7 with that burning splint, okay, was to show you which gas you were going to produce here. Okay, because this is a single replacement reaction, okay? And you do get something off by itself that's going to be a gas in that reaction. So for those ones there, you can kind of go exactly as we did on Friday when we were predicting those. All right, you have the rest of the class to work on that lab report. Okay, you might want to team up with some people, and put your heads together to see if we can get the reactions figured out for the analysis. Okay, you can now work on your conclusion and stuff like that. Whatever you didn't get done on Friday, you now have almost a half an hour to work on. Okay, right now. I'll see if the Chromebooks are available.
When will it be due?
When did it say it was due in Google Classroom?
March 8th.
Then that's when it's due, March 8th. Okay. All right. Any other questions there? Okay, let me see if the Chromebooks are here. Okay, if you need a Chromebook, you can come on up here and get one.